Hello everyone, my name is Swapnil. I am the Principal Product Manager at Qualys for VMDR solution. I am working with Qualys since last 5 years. This webinar is in continuation of part 1 webinar which we have done on 1st Feb. The increasing in number of vulnerabilities poses a significant challenge to the organizations to effectively manage and mitigate the cybersecurity risks into their organization. The number of vulnerabilities increased by 40% over the last 5 years according to NVD. As per our analysis, we found that only 3% vulnerabilities are exploitable, and that is what the important thing is, and that you should prioritize into your cybersecurity program. The Qualys TruRisk helps you to focus on such critical vulnerability first by providing you the visibility and also helps you to prioritize and remediate that critical vulnerabilities faster. Qualys TruRisk takes into account multiple factors like the asset context, the asset exposures, and the risk factors. That helps you to get the right postures or the accurate risk posture of your organization. TruRisk helps you to prioritize 85% fewer vulnerabilities and helps you to focus on what that matters, and also helps you to expedite and reduce the mean time to remediate instead of using the CVSS scores that provides you the little actionable context. Let's see in the demo of how you can operationalize the TruRisk into your cybersecurity program. In the cybersecurity program, visibility plays a vital role. You cannot protect if you can't see it. The Qualys Cybersecurity Asset Management helps you to bring the security context to your IT inventory. The home page provides you at a glance the overall snapshot of your IT inventory across your organization. So you can create your own dashboard as well to get your own view based on your own requirement. So this is one of the out-of-the-box dashboard that helps you to get the managed asset count, unmanaged asset count, the external facing asset count, and the assets on which the external facing asset on which end of life or end of service has been detected. So here at a glance, this widget provides me the managed asset distribution, unmanaged asset distribution based on the subcategories. Again, the asset distribution based on geolocation, category breakdown, how many servers I have, their distribution, the asset criticality, the endpoints, how many database server I have, how many web servers I have, the distribution of my cloud instances across my organization, the software inventory, again the end of life or end of service of the softwares I have based on the timelines on which the end of life of that particular application has been declared, and authorized software which is running on my ecosystem. So for now, let's go and let's concentrate on the asset criticality, because asset criticality is one of the important factor that you need to first define to get the right TruRisk to get the right TruRisk evaluated for your asset. So let's quickly go and let's see the critical asset 5. So assets with criticality 5. So if I see here in the listing, so these are the top 2 assets wherein the assets have been synced from CMDB, so you can get the CMDB business context for that assets within these in CMDB through CMDB syncs app, and also if you can see here, this asset has been detected by external attack surface management, which is a new offerings with with CSAM. So which helps you to get the external attack surface view as well. And right now, so if I let's understand why the criticality for this particular asset has been set as 5. So if I click here, then we can see here based on the tags which are getting associated, I can able to understand this is a data center which is running the business app, which is finance, which is critical. It is running on the production environment, and it is running unauthorized software, and it is running end of life application as well. So to get the asset criticality, you need to first define the criticality of the tags, and whenever that tags get associated to that asset, that particular then based on that the asset criticality will be evaluated. So if there are multiple tags, then it will consider the higher as the asset criticality which has been assigned, and based on that the asset criticality will be evaluated. So let's understand that what are the business context I am able to get from CMDB. So here is one of the example. Here the same asset which we are going hit, it belongs to the accounting department, and it is running on the production environment, and also here it is running one of the critical application which is finance, which is also important, which is critical in terms of organization point of view. So whatever so whenever CMDB syncs happens, the automatically whatever you create tags, you have created tags into your CMDB, that automatic tags gets created based on their severity in CSAM, and accordingly automatically that tags get associated to that particular asset. So that's overall automation is there if you're using CMDB in your organization, and also you can create dynamic tags, and then automatically the tags get associated in Qualys, and the criticality will get assigned to that particular asset. So now once you define the criticality, then whenever that asset gets scanned, the vulnerability will get evaluated against the vulnerability, or the scan will happen, and after that the TruRisk will get evaluated for that particular asset. So to view or to measure your TruRisk, the best way is a unified dashboard. So this is one of the out of the box dashboard that helps me to get the overall risk posture of my organization. Like for example, it gives me the total number of asset, the severe asset count, and the critical detection which has been there, and which has been, like, the important thing is it is Qualys patchable, also the critical asset count and the detections which are detected more than last 30 days, and then the assets which have not been scanned in the last 30 days. So this is one of the good I would say beautiful widgets which we have released for showcasing the TruRisk. So like for example, this widget gives me the overall risk posture of my organization, the contributing factors, the total number of assets. Again, this gives me the cloud posture, this gives me the external attack surface or external facing assets view. So at a glance, this particular row give me the overall risk posture of my organization, internal as well as external both. So you can easily create your TruRisk widgets into your organization based on your own requirement. So whenever you go to create widget section, then you'll be able to see this TruRisk as a widget type here, and then you can define your own query. And once you define your own query, then you go and once you say, hey, enable trending and the contributing factor, so that you will be able to see what are the contributing factors, and the trend details will get added to that your widget. So this is how easy you can create your TruRisk widgets and get the TruRisk posture based on your own conditions or the queries which you define. So like for example here, the TruRisk widgets are created based on the locations as well. You can get the each location TruRisk, and also the important thing is based on the business app also you can able to get the TruRisk posture. Like for example, on the TruRisk posture of the assets on which this particular critical business applications are running, right? So and then another, like based on geolocations, you can able to get the details of your the risk distribution, like critical vulnerabilities that has been detected on in my organizations, the critical business high risk business critical assets based on their risk count, and you're able to see here. And this is one of the beautiful another widgets which we added, which is a Venn diagram which provides me, hey, this is my total critical asset count, out of which I need to only concentrate on like the 2.8k assets only, and this is where the severe TruRisk or the risk has been detected on this particular set of assets only. So I need to concentrate only on this, which helps me to do my focus remediation program, and it helps me to overall reduce my mean time to remediate as well. And if you see here the other the TruRisk distribution widget and the EOL and missing patches details. So this is one of the another very helpful widgets which gives me, hey, low medium CVSS with high Qualys risk QDS. So basically here based on the QDS we say that this is critical, however the CVS is saying it is low, however the CVSS score is low or medium. So let's understand why it is marked as critical here. So if I go here, so this is the list of my criticals which has been defined based on the QDS. Let's go and let's understand why this has been marked as critical. So 95 is the Qualys detection score. We'll go into more details of how it gets evaluated, but let's see, go into details of why it is marked as 95. So basically here the CVSS score is just 5.6. However, it is marked as 95 because the 10 malwares are associated to this. And again, in terms of exploitability, so there it is, the POC was there, and also it has been weaponized, and also it has been, we found that it is recently trending. That makes this particular QD that makes this particular vulnerability as critical. So here the QDS is derived from the QVS, which is Qualys vulnerability scores, and that is derived from multiple factors here, and there are more than 25 plus threat vendors through which we have done the integrations, and we continuously get the details from that, and on regular basis the threat data gets updated, and accordingly the QVS and the QDS gets updated, and respectively TruRisk gets evaluated for that particular assets. So if there are CVs which are associated, then we are considering the highly contributor CVE for evaluating the QDS. So now let's go and let's see in terms of TruRisk point of view how the TruRisk gets evaluated. So let's go in the same let's go into this one of the asset TruRisk view. So if you see here the TruRisk, the business criticality, we had already understand how the business criticality has been done. So like for example here it is rated by SAM, it is the CMDB critical assets, and it is running critical application, and also we have seen that it is internet facing, and it has been detected by external attack surface management as well, and there are critical vulnerability which has been detected on this particular asset. So here the score is how the score has been evaluated is very transparent. What are the contributing factors to it, that is also transparent, and also the overall formula you will able to see here and help you to understand that why this particular TruRisk for this particular asset is severe. And also for what we recently announcement has been done, if it is external facing, then we make we have increased the weightage to 20% higher than as compared to that internal asset, because if external facing assets has to be at the top in terms of your overall mitigation program of cyber risk, right? So you have the point to understand that what are my critical vulnerabilities, what are my business critical assets, and then based on that you can easily define your you can go ahead and do your remediation program as well. So here this is one of the view which helps you to get like the if you're using our Qualys patch management program, so product, so you can easily find out what vulnerabilities are being patchable by through Qualys patch management, and you can go and you can plan your patch program accordingly based on the QDS score as well, and based on the TruRisk as well. So best way to go and to get prioritize and remediate do the patch action is through Qualys prioritization report. So for prioritization reports, you define your tags and make sure you have enable this Qualys TruRisk mode. So this will give you this reports give you the critical assets only and the critical vulnerabilities only for in terms of report generation, right? So this will give you the this will prioritize the critical assets, wherein like from 196 is just saying hey 79 are critical, that I need to focus, and only like from overall it is just saying hey I need to concentrate on 15.34 percentage vulnerability, which is 32.25k detections or instances, and out of which 580 is unique vulnerabilities that has been detected, and out of which almost 50% are Qualys patchable. I can go and I can do this overall patch into two actions, one for Windows and another for Linux. I can perform within 2 actions. I can overall reduce my overall risk score, overall almost like 50 to 60% risk will get reduced directly within by performing simple 2 actions. That's how powerful the prioritization report and the integration with the patch management is. So here again you can get the view of vulnerabilities and the respective list of vulnerabilities, and the patchable details are being mentioned here. Also you can apply the model query, and you can easily find out what are the vulnerabilities that are like right now, what are now currently the assets on which this patch management is activated, and the respective vulnerabilities will get patched on this particular set of assets. You can also get filters, and you can see only the patchable vulnerabilities, and you can also get a view based on the patch, what patches are applicable, and what on how many assets that patch are missing the patch view as well. And also from the asset view also you can get the details of, hey, on how many assets, what are the patch which are missing and install. You can get the overall details of it as well. So in terms of remediation program, automation plays a very vital role in success criteria for the patch management. So if you have automated patch management, that it will ensure that your patching is done in an effectively and efficient manner, or in a timely manner, on set of assets, right? So to achieve the automation, Qualys is helping you to automate it through our zero touch patch management. So what does it means? You can go ahead and you can create your zero touch patch jobs, like based on the conditions your conditions you want to automate this patch job. So you can just select here, hey, I've just selected, hey, if the detection score is 90, then you go ahead and you patch this particular vulnerabilities, and when I should run this job. So you can define your schedule. So I said, hey, on every patch Tuesday, which is the Windows patch getting released. Based on that, hey, if there is a critical vulnerabilities which is detected and where the patch when the patch is available, go ahead and do the patching. So this helps me to create automatic patching, and I don't have to worry more about my critical detections which are there. So this is how the overall TruRisk helps you to effectively and efficiently improvise your overall cybersecurity risk program. So whatever I have discussed here based on the asset and vulnerabilities and the patch, so for all the details, the APIs are available, and also we have done the integration with ServiceNow, which takes your cybersecurity programs and the remediation program to the next level. So let's go back to the presentation. I hope you have enjoyed the demo. Let's quickly go through the benefits of TruRisk. Easy to use makes it the perfect component of your cybersecurity program. The automated scanning and remediation helps you to reduce the mean time to remediate, and the Qualys continuous improvising threat database helps you to secure from the ransomware attacks as well. As we have gone through the demo and understand how you can operationalize the TruRisk into your cybersecurity program, and also we have gone through the benefits, now I'll hand over to JC, who is a subject matter expert of vulnerability management at Syntax, to share his overview of how he has leveraged the Qualys TruRisk and efficiently manage and mitigate the cybersecurity risk in his organization. Over to you, JC.
Thank you very much, Swapnil. Hi, everyone. My name is Jose Carlos Nájera, or JC. I've been working with Syntax for the past 3 years as a subject matter expert in vulnerability management. I have almost 10 years of experience using Qualys and developing vulnerability management programs for different customers. So a little bit about Syntax. So we are a large ERP hosting company with 50 years of experience in technology sector and more than 45 years supporting ERP applications. So what we do is that we're a managed cloud provider for mission critical applications, and our specialty is to implement and manage multi-ERP deployments like SAP and Oracle in private, public, hybrid, and multi-cloud environments. We have 12 countries with Syntax support centers, and we have 12 Syntax data centers. And with an amazing team of 2,000 employees globally, we support more than 1,000 customers. So being a leader at supporting ERP customers is not an easy task. Every customer has different needs, they have different goals and priorities, and you can actually see that whenever you take a look at their IT landscape, because that actually reflects that. And all of those things matter when you're defining ways to reduce cyber risk. You need to understand that vulnerabilities and remediation plans won't be exactly the same between different customers. And still, I mean, we've seen also that they do share a fair amount of similar challenges amongst them. So the things that I see the most around first-time customers are inaccurate inventories and minimal visibility around their landscapes. They have also inefficient ways of measuring vulnerabilities and risk, and also the way that they are working remediation. They don't have priorities sometimes. They just try to tackle everything together. They do have a limited understanding of risk on their business, because they're at the end of the day there's a big gap between technical teams and the business, because they are not speaking the same language. And this is something very important, because what we need to make sure is that once we're doing metrics, we need to transmit that those vulnerabilities are translated into risk for the business. So that's really important. So Qualys TruRisk allowed us to raise the bar and design unique risk-based vulnerability management programs for our customers. If I needed to summarize what made this possible, I would probably say that there are three key aspects that contributed to that achievement, basically. So one of them is the possibility of adding the asset criticality to every one of your assets in your environment. These criticalities can be assigned automatically, which is super nice. And all of those will have also a tag associated to each one of them. So that's very important. Second thing is you will have the ability to prioritize the vulnerabilities using more than just the regular CVSS scores or severities. You can prioritize, for example, based on trending exploitation or malware association. Maybe, I don't know, if you leverage some other tags like location or compensating controls, that's this new ability that you have with TruRisk. And finally, the being able to pinpoint the high risk assets and also create meaningful dashboards and metrics that actually speaks the business language, right? So let's go a little bit deeper into each one of those three things, because I think it's very important to understand them separately. So the first one, asset tags and criticality are both extremely important, because they will set the pace for your remediation strategy. So we're not only using tags to name the types of hardware or software, for example, we're also using tags to identify them by other stuff. For example, and I was talking about before the speaking the business language. If your business is using, for example, data center locations or geographical locations or supporting teams as their principal or their main sources of metrics, you should do that too. So if you're able to translate those, let's call it names or metric names, to your risk-based tags and your dashboards, then your metrics will be more clear and they will reflect exactly what your business is waiting or hoping to get, right? So that's basically what the tags will have, that direct relation to what the business normally reports on. That's the main idea. As for the asset criticalities, for the first-time customers that we see a lot, it might be a little bit challenging to decide what things are the most critical, or why this is going to be more critical than other, right? My recommendation is to start with the things that you already know. They even could be a little bit obvious, kind of like the ones that you're seeing on the screen right now. For example, if you can start by giving the highest criticality to all of your internet-facing assets and your mission-critical applications, and that will be your baseline. And then you can de-escalate the criticalities and probably assign a severity 4 or even severity 3 to non-prod servers or desktops or IP phones, right? So it does not has to be, it's really nothing too hard, right? You need to just go ahead and start with something that it's very obvious on the criticality. And also, I mean, you need to consider that at some point, those criticalities can be changed. They are not carved in stone, and they will be dynamic. I mean, they will adapt to your needs when needed, right? So around, priority, while engaging with our customers, we have to make sure that we are explaining deeply why these vulnerabilities are the priority on the remediation, right? So during the demo, Swapnil showed you how you can get this nice donuts that you're seeing on the screen right now. These graphics are super valuable because they actually reflect a very good way of explaining why a vulnerability needs to be prioritized. And that's how I like it to present it to our customers and leaderships, because some of them might be even non-cybersecurity oriented, and still you need to make sure that they understand why this is risky, right? So with this type of information, you can easily tell a story about, a vulnerability that is using contributing factors and that it's affecting your business. For instance, in this example here, you can show that the asset, in this case, this one in particular, it's an exposed asset to the internet, which elevates the risk to exposure, and then it will be important to remediate because there are flaws that are associated to malware attacks, and recent trends have indicated that bad actors are actively exploiting it. So that's basically what the whole picture is giving you. It's just giving you context so you can actually build up a good story behind each one of the vulnerabilities. And then you don't need to talk about technical stuff that sometimes is difficult to share with non-cybersecurity audiences or customers maybe. So that's something that it's very, very important on. And last but not least, and I was talking about the three topics, this is the third one, is how we show metrics and how do we share, the stuff that we're currently working on, the remediation around vulnerabilities. And it's important to showcase what you're doing right now, right? So this is an example of how an operational dashboard should look like. And this is proved to work very fine for us. I mean, it suits our business needs, and it actually speaks the language of executives, basically. So we like to start all the way on the top. We like to start to show, or by showing, the amount of assets that we have on that specific dashboard, right? That's the first thing. You need to understand if they are IP tracking or they are, cloud-based agents tracking, but something that actually gives you the baseline of how many assets you're actually measuring. The second part, and this is, probably the biggest metric you'll have, is how your position or your cyber risk score is overall. That this is giving you the high level view of visibility of everything you have, those 686 assets in the example, how good or bad you are in terms of risk. And then what we like to do a lot, and you can do this as well, is start putting some widgets that give you a little bit more visibility on priority items. For example, in this particular case, this widget showcases the risk around internet-facing devices. So as we can see here, it's very clear that the remediation around internet-facing has been working super good. And also you can add more details or even more breakdowns to your metrics. I mean, in this case, for us, it's very important to understand that we need to break down a little bit the servers and the desktops, and then understand if there are other type of divisions, such as non-Windows or Windows, for example. And again, it's very obvious whenever you are hitting certain parts that will need to have a little bit more of an improvement on your process. For example, that 557 risk is telling me that our process around servers, for example, is not optimal. Maybe we're hitting something and we're waiting until there's maybe the application is not working properly with certain patches. So maybe we're waiting a little bit more, and that's why we have a higher risk because the vulnerabilities have been accumulated. Or maybe we're just doing a very poor job at fixing vulnerabilities. So that this is going to tell you a very good story depending on your business and the way it works. There's another widget that I like a lot, especially if you're relying on tags based on your business units or your business needs. For example, here we like to have tags based on sites. So I created tags based on site O and site H in the example on the screen, and you can see there that they are they reflect the amount of assets associated to those tags, and also it reflects the level of the risk level that all of them have. So then if you're again speaking the language of the business, because now when I go to the customer or the leaders or even the C levels, and you start talking about sites instead of servers or instead of vulnerabilities, they would immediately understand what are you talking about, because you're again talking their language. You're saying, well, we have a huge risk on site O, compared to site H or the other way around, right? I mean, this is something that it's very important. And you can use these tags, as I mentioned before, you can use them with different things. I mean, you can use them for geolocation, or you can use them for business units or business owners or applications owners. I mean, it's very up to you how you want to do this. Then this widget here is the MTTR, which is a very, very nice thing to have because you can actually track how good or bad your remediation effort is. So if you're, you need to try to relate how the vulnerabilities are being disclosed, maybe every month by the Patch Tuesday, for example, and then compare it to your patching cycles and see how fast you can react after they are being released, right? So it's very nice to have something that it's telling you, hey, your mean time to remediate is super low, like the one here, which is 18 days, or is it something around months or maybe years? I mean, this is a metric that it's a long-term metric that could indicate if you're doing a good job or a bad job at remediation. And finally, this widget, it's also very important because it helps you prioritize the things that you didn't know they were priority. That's the magic of it. Before we did this risk-based vulnerability management, we relied a lot on CVSS scores and severities. And sometimes when we do not consider the contributing factors such as malwares or exploitation or trendings, stuff like that, some of those vulnerabilities that appear to be low CVSS scores, they could actually bring up a very big risk to your business, and some of them might be lost. I mean, if you're not tracking them down, they might be lost, and then your prioritization would be a little bit off. So I like this widget a lot because it gives you visibility on the stuff you thought it was not very risky, but once Qualys brings on their intelligence and all of the contributing factors, you can actually see that this particular vulnerability is actually very important, and you need to prioritize based on that, right? So that's another thing that we use a lot to figure out priority stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really had a great time. This is my contact information. Please, if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to reach out. I really, really appreciate your time here, and I'll go back to Swapnil now. Have a great day, everyone. See you.
Thank you, JC, for giving the phenomenal insights. I hope that would be helpful for other customers as well. to leverage the to leverage the TruRisk into their cybersecurity program. If you haven't tested it, feel free to sign up for no cost 30 days trial. Once you do a sign up, we'll create, if your new customers, will create the subscription for you. If your existing, will enable it on your existing subscription, and you deploy sensors and start evaluating TruRisk, start evaluating getting the TruRisk of your organization. If you are existing customer, then it should be already enabled. If it is not enabled, then you should reach out to your account manager. If you are a VM customer, then you need to upgrade to VMDR to leverage the TruRisk. These resources are also available in your resource sections of the webinar. Feel free to go through this webinar to go into details of more of implementing risk-based vulnerability management with Qualys TruRisk into your organization. Thank you all for your time.